asị m gị gaba n'iru na onwere ife ba ga-eme ọchọ nke a dị-enwe ilo ma chacha ọchọ nke a dị-enwe ilo okwu nna m gwara m gbuo ọ sị na ọchọ nke a dị-enwe ilo ịma na nwata chọba nke ya akpọbụ ya ajọ mmadụ mana nke nwa ka nwa na-achọ Chukwu okike kwe n'azụ Chukwu okike so ga-eje na onwere ife ndị ya ga-eme ebe ba na-egbutere gị na operation Python dancing na onwere ife ọzọ ba ga-eme maka na ọchọ nke a dị-enwe ilo ụmụ Igbo ka eje ọnụ ka anyị ọ sị ya marọ emesi aka na ị ga-amarịli emesi aka na ị ga-aghọta ndị ọcha achasị bute ọcha ha achasị bute nke ji ụlọ na Igbo erika ndị ji ni maka ifi ego welepụsi ụmụnne ba unu godu ma na agwa ụmụ Igbo ka eche ọnụ ka anyị ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ n'oke anyị ka ịchọba n'oke anyị ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọba n'oke anyị onye jizi na nwanne ya je politiks ka ịchọ n'oke anyị onye jizi na nwanne ya jalụ mgbele ka ịchọ n'oke anyị na-alụgo ka ịchọba n'oke anyị ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọba n'oke anyị ka ịchọ n'oke anyị nke m bụ nke m nke anyị bụ nke anyị
Alright, this Ufuma Biafra on the microphone. God bless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Urobo Wado, hey, Isoko Wado, hey, IPOB, one family.
It's just my finger
in your woman, me Wakira, Ota make up Urobo, Otori Biafra, you in your woman, on Nanuyota, Urobo, Nani Soko, Ishakiri, Otori Biafra, you. One more, we come Makubeyo, for Makada, Eburi Biafra, Urobo, Ananisha, Ishakiri, Otori Biafra, yo. One more, we come Makubeyo, Efekare, Eburi Biafra, Biafra, Meono, Onani Biafra, Meono. Biafra me on the Biafra me on the freedom of Biafra, my own home. Tari Biafra, oh no, freedom of Biafra, my own home. Tari Biafra, oh no, Biafra. side the road has been defeated in our land. Oh, hey, Biafra, Baye Salam, and the Talan, Kalabala, and Akwa Iboland, Ikwoshala. Oh, Iboland, we are one family. Oh, hey, Biafra, Urobo, Nanisha, Ishakiri, Utori Biafra, yo, Wama, Repo Makubeyo, Epekabe, Epuri Biafra, Biafra me on the Anani Biafra me on the Anani Biafra me on the Anani Biafra me on the freedom of Biafra, my own. Sorry, Biafra, all of it. Freedom of Biafra, my own. Sorry, Biafra, all of it. 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 Come on, Biafra, is my home. Sorry, Biafra, all of it. Baye Salam, Abe Salam, Kalabala, and Akwa Iboland, Ikwoshala. Oh, Iboland, we are one family. Oh, hey, Biafra, Urobo, Nani Soto, Nishekiri, Otari Biafra, Wama, Repo Makubeyo, Epekabe, Epuri Biafra, freedom of Biafra, my own. Otari Biafra, oh no, freedom of Biafra, Otari Biafra, oh no, 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 freedom of Biafra, oh no, Biafra, oh no, Biafra, oh no, Biafra, oh no, Onani Biafra me 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 oh no.
I thought of Biafra freedom taking longer, and cause of that you tend to feel so low. I know our freedom is your greatest hunger. I thought of Biafra keeps your heart aglow. We will walk the line, this hell that we've known with time. Gotta take it away. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. Your flight's just a step away. Just hold on. Oh, hold on, do not let go.
It's always been this red and black, no green. A nation of displaced yet hungry people. We shine a brighter light the world will see. We will touch the skies and set up a throne on high and reign without God. Just hold on and don't let go. Hold on, do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. The flight's just a step away. Just hold on. Oh, hold on. Do not let go. Just hold on and don't let go. The flight's just a step away. Tell me now, can't you see and don't you know? We found to let you know this a point of no return. The voice on radio is calling out to you, my brother. Saying get up, stand up, and don't give up the fight. Hold on. Just hold on. Your friends just a step away. One family, we really are. A step away. Do not let go. Never give up the fight. Standing on the truth always. One step away. And don't let go.
Indigenous. Righteous. You will reap what you sow. 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 Yeah, Lord. Poliko. Igagola poliko. Yeah, Lord. Poliko no way. Igagola poliko. Anonela.
jisie ike osisi Chukwu nyelu ndị Igbo asị m gị gaba n'iru na onwere ife fa ga-eme ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo ma chacha ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo okwu nna m gwara m kwuo ọ sị na ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo ịma na nwata chọba nke ya akpọbụ ya ajọ mmadụ mana nke nwa ka nwa na-achọ Chukwu okike kwe n'azụ Chukwu okike so ga-eje na onwere ife ndị ya ga-eme ebe fa na-egbutere gị na Operation Fighters Dancing na onwere ife ọzọ fa ga-eme maka na ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo ụmụ Igbo ka eje ọnụ ka anyị
Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe once said, when two incompatibles meet, they can coexist if only they agree to agree and agree to disagree. But Nigeria, can we ever agree? My learned senior and mentor, G.T. Ogunye, senior advocate of the masses, recently said, a country does not survive solely because of forced unity. It survives on purpose and fruitfulness. This Nigerian house, he said, is falling. Today, if it is not agitation for Oodua Republic, it is movement for the actualization of Biafra, or Arewa threatening to send Igbos packing from the north. How about Boko Haram, Fulani headsmen, oil theft and militancy, or the once upon a time OPC? Why is the previous government granted amnesty to militants who didn't ask them for it? The current government sees Biafran agitators as miscreants that must be crushed, while rehabilitating repentant members of Boko Haram. Yet the victims are still crying daily for succor from the same government. If this is not injustice from a motherland, then I wonder how else you would define it. Yet, we mouth the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. I laugh in vernacular. Some stakeholders have canvassed for fiscal federalism or return to the 1963 Republican Constitution, while others have argued that we either restructure, discuss our coexistence through a referendum, or go our separate ways. And like my brother and friend, Barrister Tio Nwigbo, once asked, are we really afraid of going our separate ways? If that will guarantee justice, fairness, equity, peace, and security. I leave you to be the judge of that, though. Why countries like Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, and USSR have all separated to foster equality, justice, security, and ethnic nationalism. We are here preaching unity in Nigeria, yet we have no solution to the genocide in South Kaduna, the illegal but officially condoned arms in the hands of killer headsmen, kidnappers, bandits roaming the country, the technically defeated Boko Haram, the amnesty militant or the kidnappers. How about the corruption, nepotism, ineptitude, and barefaced selfishness and planlessness on the part of the political class, president, governor, lawmakers, and their likes? Make we sit down there and deceive ourselves. Czechoslovakia, which had a population of 16 million people, less than the Lagos population, separated into Czech and the Slovakia on the 1st of January 1993. Yugoslavia in 1991 was 23.2 million, barely more than Lagos population. It broke into 6 countries same year, all along ethnic lines, namely Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Slovenia. In Europe, the UK permitted regional autonomy to the Irish, the Scots, and the Welsh, while the English dominated Westminster. Switzerland has 4 ethnic groups. Each of them rotates the presidency annually through 7 cantons that constitute the federation unit. These countries, like every other, might have their problems, but they are stronger and fostering independence today. I will therefore advocate, as posited by Professor Wole Soyinka and Professor George Obiozo and a lot of other scholars, apart from those in government. Nigeria, as presently constituted, is structurally flawed and badly configured. If not restructured either along regional lines or allowed to discuss their cohabitation to whether agree to agree or agree to disagree, it might give way forcefully without the opportunity of proper tailoring. The North, if properly harnessed, can not only feed the entire West Africa, but can become a new Dubai. The Southwest can enhance our creativity to become another Silicon Valley if they weren't waiting for revenue from a feeding bottle center. The Southeast, with accountable leadership and right infrastructure, can become the Japan of Africa, while the South-South can be able to look inward for possibilities that abound around them. Then we will indeed understand that united we fall, divided we stand.
God began to speak to me about Biafra, and I'm worried. I stopped somewhere last month, and I'm going to throw a little light on another one. And I pray that the authority concerned should listen to me. And it's a statement. Dialogue now, so that you should not be knocking the door for dialogue and there's no dialogue. That's what God told me. I keep saying it. I said there is a spirit in this young man. It is bigger than what physical eye can see. I'm not an Igbo man, I'm a Yoruba man, but I'm speaking as a prophet. I said what I see in this young man is bigger than him. You see the man, the small boy that they call him, what is inside him is bigger. It's not just an ideology. It's bigger. I said, I see an animal. Which animal did I told you last time? Huh? I said what? A what? A what? A small puppy. And I say, I see a small puppy going forward. All of a sudden, I saw so many strange wild animals, lion, bear, great animals around the puppy. Then I saw the puppy look back and saw that the animals around him are so many. Suddenly the puppy, what I saw last month is different from what I'm seeing now. The puppy is developing some futures of wild animals. This prophetic word is not to the negative. It's very important. Take the Biafra agitation serious. Dialogue now. Because I see a time, doors are knocked, calls are made. People who are heady are saying we have come down, but these people are not willing to dialogue again. Please, redeeming the time, for the days are evil. Dialogue now. Dialogue now. I repeat it again. I'm not an Igbo man, but I'm telling you what I'm shown in the spirit. What? I'm seeing great people, important people in this nation coming together and saying, now, okay, we want to sit on the table, let us talk. But the people you want to talk with are saying, it's too late. Please, dialogue now. The days ahead are evil. Dialogue now. This is not a cry of a baby. It's a cry of an adult. I repeat it again. Dialogue now. The Bible said, blessed are the peacemaker, for they shall be called the children of God. Please, every authority, there come a time when a revolution is about to take place. The power of God, bombs, and bullets cannot hold an ideology. Please, dialogue now. This is not the time of, I have bullet, I have gun, I have bomb. This has nothing to do with bullet and bomb. If you know what I'm seeing in the realm of the spirit, everyone in federal authority should take the Biafra agitation serious. If you are once a founding father of this nation, sit down around the table and listen to your children. Dialogue now. This is not the time to arrest anybody. is the time to hear the cry of the people. Dialogue now. Because it's going to be the last resultant solution at the end. But when you are asking, when the king comes down from his throne and he's saying, I'm ready to talk, and everybody is throwing stone at you, then you will know that it is important to dialogue with honor and prestige and go out and there is peace in the land.
The city of Laodicea have so much gold. They have so much gold that people come from all over to buy gold. Now, listen. They bring gold and refine it in their land. Their land does not produce gold, but they bring gold and they refine it. And that is one of the reasons I talk to every African. The whites, I make bold to say, and let the whole world hear me, the whites planned to enslave us forever. It started from the time they came to colonize us. They spoiled our education system. They killed our mentality from the beginning. It takes the wise to understand what I'm talking about, but I will still say it. How did they do it? They did not educate us to be educated. They educated us to remember. They did not educate us to think. That is why we in Africa, no matter how educated you are, with our system of education, the only thing you are trained to do is to remember. You are not trained to think. No matter your discipline, it is something targeted at our tomorrow. And we need to wake up and liberate ourselves. And I will talk to Africa one of these days. And I will tell my people how we shall liberate ourselves from that. What do I mean? If I don't make it clear, you will not understand what I mean. What I mean is this. By the curriculum they gave to us, by the way they fashioned our education, this is what they did to us. They educated us the way we will remember the past. So we keep living in the past. If you are a lawyer in this place, the only thing you will learn is how to remember the laws that were made. How to remember them and quote them. So you are educated to remember the past. You are educated to remember things that happened. If you are a medical doctor in this house, you are not educated to invent. You are not educated to think and bring out new things. But you are educated to remember there was a time somebody had this thing in America and they joined this one to this one. So your education is based on remembrance. They fixed us, trained us only to remember. They did not train us to think. If you're a lawyer in this place, when you get to court, you quote the things that has happened before. And it is when you quote the things that have happened before that you can remember. We clap for you as a good and a powerful lawyer. Now it's no longer interesting because now they say write everything and send. So people no longer talk for us to hear. Those days when they talk for us to hear, you hear quote and unquote. In 1972, in the High Court, seated at this, that, remember. You are trained to remember. You are not trained to think. Even in my field, as a pastor, you are trained to remember what happened in Jerusalem. What happened years ago. What happened during the time of Christ. But you are not trained to think. Now, when there is any danger in the world, people from all over the world who we are trained to think, we think on what to invent, what to produce to hit what is happening. But our own is that ab initio. Our brain is to remember. So we will sit down and wait for others to invent before we will copy, because we are trained only to remember. Did I make sense to anybody? If I make sense to you, shout, God help us. I have something for my generation. I have something to tell the world on our behalf. Somebody say, help us, Lord. This is a strategic agenda to keep us under. Why am I saying this? I told you that there is a lot of gold in Laodicea, but they do not produce gold. Ladies and gentlemen, Buckingham Palace in England, London, Buckingham Palace is built and designed with gold, but there is no gold in England. England do not produce gold, but Ghana produce gold. But in the house of the king of Kumasi, there is no gold designed there. But in England, Buckingham Palace, they took the gold from Ghana and they designed Buckingham Palace. But where we are, there is no gold. Can I talk to you? They educated us to remember. So, by your formation, that is why when you tell me I'm a professor in Nigeria, I just look at you. You tell me you are this in Nigeria, I just look at you. Why? No matter your training, the system position you to remember. Ladies and gentlemen, believe you me, before now, anybody that's schooling abroad, when they come back to Nigeria, what we used to call them is Binto. I don't know if any of you know when we call them the Binto. Now, the difference between them that studied there and we that studied here is that those of them who studied there, they were trained with different ideology. When they come back here, we look like people who are not educated. It is not true. The only difference is that they have the opportunity to mix up with those who are trained to think. So they think. But here, we are trained to remember. Our army used to be one of the best in land battle. But can I say this to you? That was when some very dangerous weapon has not come in place. Now that sophisticated weapons have come in place, we are no longer finding our feet. You know why? We are trained to remember. We are not trained to think. We are not able to follow events and follow the happenings. Thank God for the prophetic. Thank God for the prophetic. Prophetic takes us beyond where they think ordinarily we will get to. And the only reason they have a little bit of fear when it comes to Christendom for Africa is the prophetic. Apart from the prophetic, they are the ones who tell us, who teach us, and the only thing they teach us is to remember. They are not teaching us to think, but they teach their people to think. They teach their people to invent. But they are teaching us to remember. Show me one Africa who has manufactured anything different from what you remember and learn from Oyibo, and you start. Who in Africa have invented something that had never existed before? Don't we have the same brain they have? And our own is even stronger. But from time, they educate us only to remember. Now they are pushing for one word religion, and they are pushing for one word for reorienting the world. Why? They want to subdue our children to where they kept us because they have seen that some of our children are being sent out there to compete with their own children. So what are they trying to do? They are trying to bring it back, bring us down and subject and submit our children to that place of where they call the basis, where the only thing we do is to remember. Right where you're seated, no matter how educated you are, sit down and reason what I have told you. The only thing you are trained to do is to remember. You are only trained to remember. For a lawyer to wake up and go to court in Nigeria, you will go and carry books, what they call law books of judgments that they have given in the past, and you start reading them. What are you doing? Remember, you are not moving forward. There are things that played out 1980 that if you bring it now, it will not work again. But when you quote 1980 in court, we clap for you. You quote 1999 Constitution, we clap for you. You quote this, we clap for you. Why? You are trained to remember. What about thinking about future? What about somebody bringing out something that was not in existence before? That is what they do, but they don't want us to do. They think we remember. The one they think out, they pass across to us, then we remember. If you get there and you were educated in their system to think, they will seize you. You are not allowed to come back to Africa again. Because if you come back to Africa, you will sell it to other Africa. And if you sell it to other Africa, our orientation will change. And if you sell it to us, in 1 year, we will be better than them. And what will they do? They will seize you. If you insist on going, they will kill you. Why are they going to kill you? They will kill you because of what you have upstairs. They will seize you because of what you have upstairs. Then they will do you what I call partial slavery. What is partial slavery? Partial slavery is that you are free but in their land. They will give you everything you need but in their land. You are not permitted to step an inch. And they don't want us to think. They only want us to remember. When our president attends their meeting, listen to the presidents, listen to African presidents. I'm not talking of one president. Listen to African presidents. The only thing we do is when we attend their meetings, we echo what they have taught. We don't contribute nothing. Because we are not trained to think. What are they looking for in Africa? They are looking for raw material. They are not looking for raw people. They collect our raw materials and make it useful in their place. Then they want Africa to remain the way we are. Let me say this to you. This is what happened in Laodicea. When I went into research and I discovered the amount of gold that was found in Laodicea, and I went into history and I studied and discovered that this land do not produce gold. How much more you have too much gold? Somebody must go down for another to come up. They have taken advantage of us. What are they looking for in Africa? I made a complete research and I make bold to say this. The whole African countries put together, all the African country put together, our yearly budget, our yearly income as a continent is not 20% of American own as a country. I'm talking about Africa. Put the whole of Africa is not 20% of American own. But this is a continent. The richest continent in the world when you talk about raw materials. They made our education system education that remembers. But we can help ourselves. Every business you're doing today, when you want to make it international business, they sit you down and teach you to remember. That is why they tell you formulas. These are things to remember. They tell you strategies. These are things to remember. Before they started teaching you, they have drawn a line of the height you will get to. If your business must go beyond that height, you will bring them to come and manage it. Show me any business that have succeeded beyond boundaries. They are the people at the head. Why? They think we remember.
Onye larula ebulebu ye oji ofo ga na ụmụ Igbo ka anyị mụrụ anya okwu ndụmọdụ n'onye ka anyị ji bịa okwu ndụmọdụ ka anyị ji bịa anyị bụ Igbo live music entertainment onye nwelu ntị ga anyị ntị n'olu onye nwelu ntị ga anyị ntị n'olu okwu ndụmọdụ n'onye aka anyị na-agwa ụmụ Igbo Fugo ife Nnamdi kwulu gbogbo ife Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kwulu gbogbo 2014 2015 n'okwulu ya ọgbanya na-emezi ụmụ Biafra ka anyị tete n'ụla ụmụ Biafra ka anyị tete n'ụla maka na onye lara ụla ebulebu ya nwesi Igbo chekwaba n'onwunu
Hausa batoka
Igbo chekwaba n'onwunu oima
Hausa batoka
Igbo chekwaba n'onwunu
Hausa batoka
Biafra chekwaba n'onwunu
Hausa batoka egwu na-atụzi m atụ kịta bụ onye na-aga n'ụzọ jide isi ya aka egwu na-atụ ma ama m ebe ndị agbaje agbaje ọmụ baba n'ime ọfịa na ndị Fulani jụrụ ebe afọ mụ nọ n'ụlọ ama m onye mụ na ya nọ Igbo onye Awụsa ka ọ polishi elu ga-akpụkpọ n'ịnọ n'okwu ndị na-ebugharị chuga nke fanọkwa n'ahịa ma ndị na-ele akị Awụsa linu na faji egbe kezi maka ndị na-achụ efi fajuru n'ọfịa akwụkwọ nsọ Chineke nna melụ ka mmalụ ọ sị na ife abụla agha mma maọbụ agha ube mgbe chekisi onwe m wee sị kịta bụ agha mma na ube onye ọbụla weta mmiri ya biko weta egbe ya onye ọbụla kunite biko mụla anya onye mụla anya n'elu ụwa ife na-eme amụla anya maka ịlala ụlọ onye nọ n'akụkụ ebula egbe ya jee chọbakwa obejiri jee chọbakwa mma egwu debe n'ụlọ ya maọbụ ebe ọ bụ ekwentụ idebebeghị ịchọzie pọmpa chọ na idebe iwe chekwaba onwe Igbo chekwaba n'onwe unu
Awụsa abatoka. Awụsa abatoka.
Ndị Awụsa fajulu ejuwo
Awụsa abatoka.
fajulu n'ụzọ akọlio
Awụsa abatoka.
Ndị Awụsa fajulu Ebonyi steeti
Awụsa abatoka.
Ndị Awụsa fajulu na Anambra
Awụsa abatoka.
fajulu Enugu steeti ju na Delta
Awụsa abatoka.
onye ọbụla bụrụ egwu ya bụrụ mmadụ yo
Awụsa abatoka.
ọkwa anyị ji aka nye mmụọ nwanyị ife mmemme onye kpata nkwa rụrụ ọsị ngwere bịala ya ife na-eme anyị isi anyị n'aka ụmụ Igbo ife na-eme anyị isi anyị n'aka nwanne na nwanne ya jụrụ na-achụ anụ o wee si n'ụkwụ ya dịka ụkwụ anụ ụmụ Igbo ọkwa onye aghara nwanne ya kedu ka gị na nwanne gị si chi na ndụ n'isi n'ụkwụ ya dịka ụkwụ anụ oyibo kedu ife mmelụ gị ife izizi Igbo niile ga-eme ife izizi Igbo ga-eme ka anyị chewere ofu obi n'otu nọ asị m ife izizi ndị Igbo ga-eme Igbo niile were ofu obi n'otu nọ ka anyị kwadobe ka anyị na ndị a ga-esi mee maka ndị a na-ekwu ife enwe fanọrọgo na ndị Igbo lekwanụ ka itinyere ife n'ọkụ afọlọ ya iruo na Aguleri fanọ ya ịgana n'ugwu fanọ ya ịgana Ihiala fanọ ya ịgana ndị Igbo fanọ ya ndị Igbo chekọba n'onwe unu Awụsa abataga ọka ife akarịa Igbo chekọba n'onwe unu
Awụsa abatoka.
Igbo chekọba n'onwe unu
Awụsa abatoka.
ụmụ Igbo
Awụsa abatoka.
Igbo chekọba n'onwe unu
Awụsa abatoka.
ofu obi ka anyị chọlụ
Awụsa abatoka.
ofu obi ka anyị ga-eji melie
Awụsa abatoka.
ofu obi ka anyị ga-eji gaa
Awụsa abatoka.
ofu obi ka anyị anyị ga-eji
Hausa Batoka.
Akwalili ndị Igbo na-eme n'ụwa, ọ bụ onye ga-ekwulu anya ọnụ anyị? Ụmụ Biafra ka anyị jeje nọ n'ụla, ụmụ Biafra ka anyị jeje nọ n'ụla, maka na agwa ntị ma ntị anụrụ ebele isi na ntị sana. Lezie ka fa si bulu moto Dangote ka fa bulu bute ndị Fulani. Obodo bụ na bịala adọba dọzin ya, ani Biafra bụ na bịala adọba dọzin ya. Onye ka anyị ga-akọlọ nụ, onye ka anyị ga-ekpesalụ? Igbo enwele eze
without fear.
Mana ka anyị jikọ aka ọnụ, ka anyị chọba na ife dị na mmiri tupu chi ejinala anyị.
Is to seek our restoration by violence. Every living thing living in the zoo will be destroyed. All the animals will be destroyed. It's a promise and a pledge we're making to them. They must understand that we just don't.
Ọ bụrụ na enwere onye ga-ekwulu anya ọnụ anyị, ebe ọ bụ na ị nọ biko nọsi ike. Ebe ọ bụ na enwere onye ga-ekwulu anya ọnụ anyị, ebe ọ bụ na ị nọ na ndị Biafra biko nọsi ike. Maka na mara mgbe ọ ga-ebido, enwere onye ma mgbe ọ ga-afịọ. Ọfịagodu ọbụlụgodu ofu onye igbute tupu egbuo iyi ọyịma
Hausa Batoka.
maka na enwere onye ma ọ ga-ebido. Ifugo na ndị akpaga anyị ime, obodo bụ na bịala adọbala anyị ndị Fulani ma bịala ndị Igbo ime gịnị ajụọ. A na-achụ efi na ndị Igbo fachisigo efi dị n'obodo fafa ji bịaba n'obodo anyị. Igbo ka anyị mụrụ n'anya, Igbo ka anyị mụrụ n'anya, Biafra ka anyị mụrụ n'anya. Ekwuru m na bụ n'oke a na-eli ife onye mụ anya. Ụmụ Igbo ka anyị mụrụ n'anya, ebe ọ bụ na ndị nọ n'isi efe eluga anyị. Ka anyị kwadozie onwe anyị ụka mụ na ebe. Ebe bụ na ndị ga-ekwula n'ọnụ anyị disapọntighị anyị, ka anyị kwado onwe anyị ọfụma. Ọ bụlụgodo ofu onye ịlarụ, ma anyị abụọ bụ su nwanne m. Iyo alịlị mkpọnụ m ebere ka nnuke n'ọnụ.
Igbo chekwaba
Hausa Batoka, Igbo chekwaba n'onwe unu.
Hausa Batoka.
Ụmụ Biafra cheba n'onwe unu. chekwaba n'onwe unu ụmụ Igbo chekwaba n'onwe unu Igbo chekwaba n'onwe unu Hausa Batoka.
Good afternoon, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are. This very cold, glorious afternoon from the eastern seaboard of the United States of America in Newark, New Jersey, to be precise, from where we are transmitting live to you and therefore to the entirety of humanity. I welcome each and every one of you, regardless of where you're domiciled. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, with the time now standing at precisely 4 minutes past 1 p.m. in the afternoon from this part of the world. I welcome all of you wholeheartedly to this very, should I say, special broadcast. It is going to be brief, very concise, succinct, and straight to the point, because I do have other meetings later to attend. I had scheduled a meeting, very critical meeting, with our stakeholders from the coastal region of Biafra. You will excuse me. After about an hour, I will go to join that meeting. Very important people are waiting for me to address them. So I want to preempt whatever feelings you may have as a result of this very truncated version of our broadcast this very day. I call it a special broadcast because some very special people are here with me. Our women leader here in the USA is here with me. So also is our own very reverend father. Father Demagwa is also here with me. And as always, as you well know, when our woman leader comes to see me, she always brings her husband with her. And he is also here with me this very afternoon. Very shortly, they will greet you, all of you. And we also have another Biafran who is here, as we say, in a short while. But I must say that this very broadcast is coming to you live and direct. How you would know is because if you look at your timepiece at this very moment, the time is 6 minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. It's a live presentation on all our platforms. We are active. If you are experiencing or encountering any difficulties, please do not hesitate to let us know. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the largest mass movement on the face of this very earth, the noble family of the indigenous people of Biafra. It is for their sake that I'm here in the USA, and they have done as they have always done in the past. They will not let us down. I can say that very clearly and unequivocally. I am the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television, and by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. Normally, I would pray, but we have a Reverend Father here, so he is going to pray. A very short and brief prayer. I don't know if Father can pray in the language of heaven, because that is the language that God hears very quickly. When you pray in Igbo language, believe you me, the angels rejoice in heaven. Please, if you can come closer. Father Dimegwa, because please sit down. I think you can pull up that very chair. It is going to be formal and informal broadcast this very day. Of course, you try to greet our people first of all. Madam Biansonso, and bring your husband with you. You will stand over here and you speak. We are all trying to observe COVID protocol here, as you well know, in this part of the world. A lot of things are happening. So they said we must try to be as secure and as safe as possible, and we're doing that. We'll start with ladies first, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's only in our place that ladies don't come first. If you bring out Kola Nuts, all the women will disappear. But here in the Western world, it is women first. Please, madam, greet Biafrans listening all over the world.
Hello, Biafrans. I am here to see our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. As you know, wherever he is, we will be there with him. I thank you all, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. And the husband is here. Behind every successful woman, there is a man.
Hello, Biafrans. Onye kudolog, kaunolog. So, onye ọbụla ihe dị mkpa kịta ahụ ikpe yi ka eweta ego ka anyị were so ndị ilo anyị. N'uchichi ụnyaahụ Maazị Kanu nọ. Anyị ndị part of America. I
will interpret. He's saying that what is important now is fundraising to support ESN. A few nights ago, we were fundraising. That is
fundraising.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And we collected about $70,000.
$70,000?
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Okay. We are very, very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, over to our very dear and revered Reverend. Is it Reverend Father or is it only Father?
Reverend Father.
Reverend Father. The two I got together. It goes together.
They go together.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. Once again, my name is Reverend Father Augustine Odimegwa. We're here in New Jersey to welcome our indomitable leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has done a marvelous work in leading us to the promised land of Biafra, especially with the restoration of Eastern Security Network. We are here to say kudos to him, to pat him on the back, and to encourage him to do more. He has done great, but to continue to do more, and to assure him that millions and millions of voices are saying prayers for him and for the restoration of Biafra. And so, my dear brothers, we shall pray in order to start off this program. Chukwu okike abịa ma eze a na-ekpesiela ọgwụ ama amasị amasị ugwu a na-arị atụ egwu mepụta onye ọ na-akpagbu chi nke ndị ụmụ ogbenye ndị enwe nne enwe nna ndị ụwa na-atụ n'ọnụ ndị a na-emegbu emegbu. Ọ bụ nke nwa bụ ọka ome one of the world. Nke ife ikwuru na-eme onwere onye ọbụla dị ndụ eku ume nwere ike ịgbagha ife gị Chineke nna kpebiri. Okwukwe anyị wee na-agwa anyị na oge dị ugbu a na ikpebigo na Biafra ga-abịa. Ọ ga-abịa lele. As na God's time is the best. Igosigo anyị akarakwuru akara nke anyị ji wee mara n'eziokwu na ya Biafra ga-abịa. Anyị na-agụda ofu ka na-agụda ịbụa. Ka anyị na-ekene gị onna dị nsọ ka anyị na-ayọ gị ezigbo ọrụ afọ ibidogo na isi nwanne anyị nwoke bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu nye n'aka ka anyị nwee ike rụruo ya n'isi. Chukwu ebere onye afọ ọma ikwuru na ndị niile ndị ezi obi akpọkụ gị na ịma gbarapụfa aka na maka ajọ mmụọ na ajọ mmadụ akpa na nkata na onwe nụrọ mgbe ike ekwensu karịa ike nke bụ Chineke nna n'ụwa anụnwa ọ gaghị emeda oge nke anyị ewe na-ajọ gị onna dị nsọ ka i were afọ mma gị wee nọnyere nwa odibo gị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu nọnyere onye abụna bụ onye na-agba mbọ n'ụzọ abụ n'ụzọ maka inwere onwe anyị nke Biafra n'ụwa ma ndị na-etinye echiche fa ma ndị na-etinye eji okwu ma ndị na-etinye ego kwuo onye ọbụla ụgwọ dịka ọrụ ya si wee dị. O nna dị nsọ, anyị na-ekenekwa ka etu isi wee dute nwa odibo gị o wee rute n'obodo anyị na nwa bụ Amerịka mgbe ọ ga-anachi ya buru ụzọ kpere ya azụ ekwena ka ife mberede ọbụla zu ya ma bawanye ndụ nke grasia gị na-eme ya n'ikpeazụ ka mmeri wee bụrụ nke anyị ka otuto wee bụrụ nke gị Chineke nna. anyị yọrọ ife ndị a in your almighty name. Amen. Ise
mkpetachala ya ị na-atabapụ Igbo anya watapịa nnọọ nke ọma nke ọma. Sometimes people mistake what we are trying to do here to be an Igboization of this noble process. It is not. I have said it before and allow me to repeat that everybody from the East is Igbo. I say it without any apologies. We have slight variations in our dialects, in our language. That is all there is to it. But in the main, genetically speaking and otherwise, we are all one people and we must maintain that. And after this very broadcast, I will be having a meeting with very important people from the coastal region and also Igodomigodo. And I will be reiterating that as well. There was something during the prayers here that our beloved Reverend Father said, or when he was calling upon Chukwu Kikabiama, he mentioned something. He said, there is no time on this very earth that the power of darkness will prevail over light. There is no time that Lucifer, Satan, devil, call it whatever you may like, will overpower and overraw the might of Almighty Creator in the heavens and this very earth. And upon that very premise, we base our agitation. Upon that very belief, we anchor our ideology. The reason why I'm saying this is because it's quite poignant, or should I say quite intuitive. I would say that our Reverend Father mentioned this during his prayers. Because as we are here now live on air, before we came on air, we heard that a military jet crashed. Not a military jet, should I say, a Nigerian Air Force aircraft crashed somewhere in Abuja. While it is not good to celebrate the death of fellow human beings, but I must say that should it turn out to be true that that particular aircraft that crashed belongs to the Nigerian Air Force, then I will say good riddance to very bad rubbish. I will say that they have received their own comeuppance for coming to Olo and bombing innocent people, that they will continue to perish. And I say this without any apologies to anybody, entity, nor institution, that everything that Nigeria has ever wished for Biafra, they are now encountering. That is why I say that those who are not in the spirit will not understand at all what we are trying to accomplish. It is a warning to Miyetti Allah, who are now running the zoo called Nigeria. It is a warning to all those, should I say, the British High Commissioner, who is an accomplice to mass murder and deception. This is also a warning to all of you who foolishly and very hopelessly cling on to the notion that Nigeria is one entity, which clearly it is not. Every evil you ever visited upon Biafran people is now afflicting you. If that cannot teach you a lesson in life, then nothing else will teach you a lesson. I will start from the beginning so they understand this very clearly. Because it seems to me that our people do not understand the enormity, or should I say, the spiritual enormity of what we are doing. Everything that the zoo called Nigeria has done to Biafrans, Nigeria itself is witnessing right now. My dear brothers and sisters from the Yoruba land that I happen to love and cherish very much, today they are being killed. They are under the same invasion that Biafrans suffered. Theirs is a bit more humiliating and more subtle, because whereas Biafra was invaded with a standing army that enjoyed international recognition and international support, they are invading Yoruba land with a ragtag band of terrorists. It is an insult. Yoruba people are dying today. Every ethnic group is under siege. All those who got together to rise up against Biafra today, they are crying. The same cries of our mothers and our fathers between 1966 to 1970 is the same cries we are hearing today all over Nigeria. But they will not learn. Because I now begin to believe, if I never did before, that there is something that God Almighty in heaven, Chukwukika Abiyama, is trying to do with Biafra. If you go to the Bible, I'm very happy that we have a scholar of religion here. You're a PhD holder, is that correct? Is that correct, Reverend Father? You are a PhD holder. You're a theologian.
Absolutely.
Very good. Not all this cut and paste, Jesus is coming tomorrow ministry. He actually studied. He went to school to study theology. In the Bible, we were made to understand that as all these afflictions were befalling the children of Egypt and Pharaoh at the head of it, they still turned a blind eye and they became deaf to the warnings coming from heaven until they lost their first sons. Everything since 2015, when darkness ascended the throne in Asorok, every event, every happenstance since then has pointed to one inescapable fact, that Nigeria is not an entity, it is not one and can never be one. It has pointed to the fact even before then that all those, do you know the reason why they don't call people in refugee camps in the north refugees? Does anyone know why they don't call them refugees from here? Do you know why they don't call them refugees? Because they are ashamed of what I told them. I cursed the zoo called Nigeria in 2013. That everything that Biafrans went through, Nigeria will go through it. Because of that, they quickly changed the name from refugees. They used to call them refugees before to IDPs, internally displaced people. And I'm asking them, when during the Biafran war, they were calling Biafrans refugees, were we displaced outside? We were inside our own land, inside the so-called British-created contraption called Nigeria. We were refugees in our land. People, I was very young by then. The time we left Umuahia and went to Mbise as refugees. I was on a bicycle and being pushed all the way from Umuahia by leg to Mbise, where my aunt was married. Ezudom Mbise, to be precise, Ezinihide. Do you know that in their own time, there are many people in the northern part of the zoo who are in refugee camps, but out of shame, because that will remind them of what they did during the war against Biafra. They are calling them internally displaced persons. So you will not know. That's what they have done. That is number one. They came to Biafra land. They were killing people, dropping their bombs from the air. People were running helter-skelter. Children were being murdered. Mothers were lamenting. Everybody was crying. What do you think that the bandits are doing to them today in the north and in the... Have you seen what happened in Katsina a few hours ago? Of course, the same thing. People are running for their dear lives. Villages are being taken over. Children are being killed and are being abducted right across the entire Zoological Republic. Punishment from Elohim. The same army that they had that came to our land to kill, to pillage, to abduct, and to steal, they are there and they're impotent. They cannot do anything. You know, the funniest thing about the Fulani Janjaweed is that they think that they are very clever. They think they are cheating every other person. But from within, they are dying. And that is why I say to our people that they shouldn't despair. I heard some people analyzing and trying to say or convince themselves that defending our land from within is a bad thing. That we are fighting a defensive war, not an offensive war. And I said to them, because insofar as they are not very good students of contemporary history, they are not very good students of military politics either. And why do I say that? God has marked out Nigeria for destruction and put it down today. There is nothing anybody can do to change that. And a lot of people are going to die in the process. What I'm praying to God is that not to allow up to 5 million of them to die. That I'm giving you the figure that was even a very conservative figure by Irish ministers that said we lost nearly 5 million people. I believe that God is setting up Nigeria to eliminate over 5 million of them. And he is going to use the same people that connived and came into our land to kill us to do this very job. And that is why every day in Nigeria, as long as Biafrans, as long as they hold on to Biafra in Nigeria, Nigeria will no longer know peace. People will die every blessed day in Nigeria. If they bring their aircraft to our land as they did in Olo, their own military aircraft will crash and all of them will perish. Why I'm saying this is because we know they are Fulani, they are Janjaweed. Britain is supporting them. They cannot see the errors of their ways. They cannot see the foolishness of all these endeavors they've embarked upon. But one thing is absolutely clear, that there is nothing any human being can do to stop the emergence, or should I say the restoration of Biafra. Absolutely nothing of that I can assure you. Therefore, Fulani Janja, with those of them in Asorok, Miyetti Allah, all these terrorists running the lives of those in the zoo into the mud, I have this to say to you. The more you cling on to Biafra, the more you will move from one calamity to another, the more the state of insecurity will become so uncontrollable that people will begin to eat the flesh of those they feel are weaker around them. As I'm saying it now, it may sound like a fairy tale, but the day it will happen, some people, very clever Biafrans, will make reference to this very broadcast of this very day, the 21st day of February in the year of our Most High Elohim 2021, that I said such a thing. You see, I want to warn everybody that calls him or herself a Nigerian, that the more you don't allow Biafra to go, the more you conspire, the more you keep dreaming this foolish dream of one Nigeria, being one, moving forward, the more you are burying yourselves even deeper into a conflagration, into a conflict that you cannot be able to manage. These are the things that we want the world to understand. And that is why those of you who understand military strategy, not those who are on social media yapping, will understand this. I have said it before and allow me to repeat that there is a method to our madness. What I said before, that I don't want Nigeria to exist at all. So what we are going to do is that we're going to draw the enemies into our land, into our forests, and into our bushes, and we're going to kill them. In their homes where they come from, terrorists and bandits will take it over forever and ever. If you doubt me, just spend some time and study Somalia, what is happening today. Spend some time and study what is happening in Yemen today. The same scenario is going to obtain in the northern part of the zoo. The Fulani do not know what they're in for. Over very many years, they presided over, should I say, generations of Al-Majri and Janjaweed. They never went to school. Their own children were sent abroad to go and study. These people do not have access to any meaningful livelihood, but the children of those that tell them to go and destroy Igbo businesses in the north, they do. These Janjaweed and Al-Majri that they have on the streets doing their bidding do not have access to the niceties of life the same way that these, their so-called emirs and their governors do. And all of them are Fulani. The Hausa people are very poor. Even Hausa will revolt against Fulani one day in the zoo. Mark my words somewhere. And we have come to defend our land with the Eastern Security Network. And we are not going to stop that very effort. We cannot lower all this nonsense about amnesty and all that rubbish. No. We are not going to lower our guns until Biafra is restored. No Jupiter. I say no Jupiter. We have only two options. Either we get Biafra or we all perish in the process. But we know because we are serving a living God in heaven that he is going to give us Biafra. And there is nothing any human being can do about it. Biafra is a done deal. And that is why the devil keeps going into some people to try to distract them, to try to take them away from what we are doing, because Lucifer doesn't want them to participate or partake in the glory that is to come, which is the restoration of Biafra. Therefore, I am warning the entire zoo, the zoo army, the zoo police, that anything you do in Biafra land, just wait a few days, you will hear there's something happening where you come from. You came to Olo using helicopter to be shooting and bombing people, helicopter gunships. Today, your aircraft has come down. Those that they claim are intelligence officers, they are all dead. And many of you are going to die. Look at Femi Adesina. Is he okay? Many of you are going to die. All I'm waiting for is for one idiot to come out to say, oh, it is me. Was it last week that one that said, over my dead body will Biafra come? Is he not dead? Is it Junaid Mohammed? Over my dead body will Biafra come? Is he not dead? All of you are going to die. I'm waiting for them to announce, to say that this is now the leader of the Fulani cabal running the zoo. I will place a curse on you live on air, and within 6 months you'll be dead. That you may know that Elohim sent me. Some of you don't understand the spiritual dimension of what we are doing. You think we are just fighting for Biafra. No, we are fighting for the restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of the earth. That is why every force of iniquity is against Biafra. That is why anybody who is against Biafra is a child of the devil. It doesn't matter who you are. Once you are against the coming of Biafra, believe you me, you are a child of the devil. And that very end or conclusion to your life that you're looking for, you are going to get it. I will start from the beginning again by way of recap. Everybody, all those who ganged up, people from Danjuma's village, those from Gowon's village, those that ganged up against us, those from Awolowo's village, everybody that ganged up against Biafra, go to their villages today and see what is happening. They are being killed and the land being taken over. And you say that God Almighty is not with us. Of course, he is with us and will be with us to the end, because we know that victory is assured. It doesn't matter. You see how powerful Britain is. They are one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. You see how much the Fulanis have. Over $30 billion. We raised 70,000 the other day, tentatively speaking, give or take. With $70,000 that's the only one fundraising. Other people raise funds in Asia and every other place. I'm sure that by the time I'm leaving the US, if we tally everything that people have pledged and what they are going to bring, it is very close to $500,000. The reason why I'm saying this is I want you to compare what we are doing with what our enemies have. I came to the US. If everything is put together, we might be able to raise about $500,000. Of course, we will not even, because America is trying, to be honest with you. You people are now beginning to wake up. Compare $500,000 to $30 billion US. They have everything going for them. They have the might of the British lobbying for them. They occupy every sensitive diplomatic position around the world. They have well-oiled consultancy firms. These are blue chip firms working for them all over the world. They bought over Google, gave them money. They bought over Facebook, gave them loads of money. The only people they have not bought so far is YouTube. And I'm sure very soon they may buy them over as well. And I don't know how far they have gone with Twitter, if they have succeeded in buying Twitter over as well. You see all that money they have, all these powers that they wield. They have the Nigerian army, the Air Force, the Navy, and all of that. All of you will be surprised to see all these entities crumble before your eyes, before the coming of Biafra. You see Britain. You see what is happening in the zoo today with people that worked or conspired against Biafra the way they are suffering. People from the Middle Belt, the same people that fought against Biafra, they're the ones who are being slaughtered today. Have you seen all of that? You see Britain, United Kingdom, God will divide it. God will divide Britain into 4. England will be on their own, Wales will be on their own, Scotland will be on their own, and Ulster, of course, they will join their brothers, the Irish Republic. Go and write it down somewhere. But when these things are happening, people will see it as a natural consequence of day-to-day politics. You will not know it is a divine order from heaven. Since Britain came to Biafra land to divide the children of light, God will divide them. Watch and see what I'm telling you. The same way today, as I'm saying this thing to you now, you see your governors that you have, those you call your leaders, those in Ohaneze. Has it dawned on everybody now that these people are even worse than Buratai? They are worse than the lowest form of Fulani Janjaweed. They are worse than Mietiala. Has it dawned on everybody now? In the north, their own governors are busy every day. And we have asked this question many, many times. How come Sheikh Gumi is able to trace where bandits are, murderers, rapists that kill innocent people every day? And he went there with the secretary to the government. Well, what's SSG? Is it? What is the meaning of SSG in the zoo? Is it the senior? Is it secretary to the state government? The Fulani governors will bring out their secretary to state government to go with somebody they claim a very filthy, dirty-looking animal that they call a sheikh. Why a black man is a sheikh in Africa is beyond me. The only thing the people I know who are sheikhs are Arab people. But let's forget that for 1 second. They went and they found where the bandits are. They found the bandits in the forest. Now, Nigeria Air Force cannot find them. Whereas in our own place, I want people to understand the enormity of the crime of Hope Uzodinma and your so-called governors and your so-called political leaders, and of course, Ohaneze, Ndiara, and Yoshi. Has Ohaneze issued any statement since the bombing of Olu? Have you heard them say anything? Ohaneze has not said anything to tell you who they are working for. When we are complaining about George Obiozo, most of you didn't quite understand what was happening. Have your eyes now opened? All those idiots answering Ohaneze, Ndiara, and Yoshi, both their elders and their children, have you seen how evil they are? Have they said anything? Somebody wrote that, do you think you can go to the north and bomb a village and the governors will keep quiet? Jonathan bombed Boko Haram, killing people, bombing and slaughtering innocent civilians. The whole of the north rose up as one. This is against a renowned global terrorist group. People can come to our villages in Olo and kill people and everybody is quiet. Whereas in the north, people who are murderers are being, serenaded by their governors. Now they're going to set up a ministry for Fulani bandits. And who are these bandits? These bandits are the same people asking you to belong to one Nigeria. So they need you to be in one Nigeria so they can kill all of you and take over your land. Because if you're not in one Nigeria, they cannot. Do you think that Mietiala can do in Benin Republic what they're doing today? They cannot. Why? Because Benin Republic is a separate entity. I want people to use their common sense for 1 second. Do you think that Mietiala can go into Togo and do what they're doing today? They cannot do it because Togo is a separate entity. Can they go to Ghana to do the same thing? The answer is, of course, no. Because Ghana is an... Do you think if Biafra were to be independent, will you have Fulani people in your forest? It's a very simple question. Do you think if Oduduwa were to be free tomorrow, do you think you will have Fulani telling you that they have the right to occupy Yoruba forests? All these things, they point to one inescapable fact and conclusion that only separation can solve the problem. Once you remain in one Nigeria, Fulani will keep coming at you until they conquer you. And I will add that is your punishment for being very foolish. Your punishment for not being able to reason properly. That is your punishment for allowing the Supreme Court of Nigeria, should I say, the Fulani Jan Abba Kyari to be precise, to impose a governor on you in Imo State. We have all seen the crimes of Hope Uzodimma. You know, people are very poor back home. There are those that will come out to try to defend what is in essence the indefensible. But we are here to put them on the path that is straight and narrow, which is the path of truth. What Hope Uzodimma did is to indicate to us their readiness to serve their Fulani masters. That's what they have done. In other words, your lives are meaningless and worthless. They are not there to serve you. They are there to serve their Fulani masters, all of them bar none. That is why anywhere you see George Obiozo or any idiot answer, they don't even come out anywhere. What they do is they hide behind somewhere and issue meaningless press statements. What we must understand and appreciate is this. Because Hope Uzodimma and co have come to kill us, we must try to defend ourselves against them. They are the real murderers from within. Isn't it very ironic in the same country you claim you have the same, should I say, the same laws governing everybody? People who are murderers, who are rapists, who are bandits, who are terrorists, who are kidnappers, their governors go to see them, give them cars, give them guns, give them everything that they want. Whereas our mothers who went to the farm in Olo, we are being bombed by a Nigerian Air Force that knows the hideout of the bandits in the north, but couldn't bomb them. You know, the more you think about it, the more upsetting the whole thing is. The more insane you become. That is why anywhere anybody sees Hope Uzodimma, a citizen's arrest must be effected immediately. Wherever they are, he can no longer travel abroad. He has a travel ban. He's a criminal. He's a thief. We know that very well. All of a sudden, he has been taken into the bosom of Fulani Janjaweed, and because of that, all his sins, all his past sins are forgiven. Others may forgive him, but we are not going to forgive him. Wherever we find him, he is going to be. People say, "Oh, don't say this." I say, "I will say it live on air." As I've been telling you before, I want to go to The Hague, so I can ask them what they have been doing. Are you telling me that those in The Hague have not seen what happened at Obibo? They were not aware of Mpo massacre. They were not aware of what happened at even the United Nations. The special rapporteur on torture and enforced disappearance, Agnes Callamard, wrote a report for the United Nations where they indicted the Nigerian army. That same report, America has it, Britain has it, China has the report, France has the report, Germany, the EU, everybody has the report. Because they have failed to do something that has emboldened all these criminals to continue to kill our people. And are we going to be quiet forever and ever? Of course not. We are going to do everything within our powers to defend our land. That is the reason why those responsible for the senseless massacre and terrorism going on in Biafra land must be brought to book, especially the governors and the leadership of Ohaneze, Ndiara, and Dioshi. We must find them and find them very, very quickly, believe you me, because Fulani Janjaweed is working overtime with them. I have said before that what we are doing is deeply, deeply spiritual. And for that very reason, next week, can you hear me very well? Next week, Saturday, we are going to praise and worship Elohim live on air. I will be the one presiding over that. Next week, Shabbat of next week Saturday, we're going to praise God in however way we want it. And I say this because we need to go back to who we are. that without God we are nothing as a race and as a people. Do you understand that? Do we know that without God we are nothing? Other people can worship idols, that is their business. Other people can worship whatever they want to worship. For us, we are the children of God. I have asked this question before. Is there any other place in the world where a village, a hamlet, or a clan answers God's children? We have a biblical scholar here. Allow me to ask, please. Reverend Father, I think it's Dr. Odemegwa, is there anywhere it is in the Bible, apart from Israel, which means the Prince of God? Is there any other place that you know, or any other nation or country or place you know on this earth where people answer the children of God?
Never, except in Biafra land.
Except in Biafra land. Now, I don't understand how to put this.
And Biafra from Israel.
Exactly. We'll get to that later. We don't want to confuse those that were fathered by Fulani before, during, or after the war. We don't want to confuse them. If we answer Umuchuku, if we have people from a place called Arochuku, if we have people from a place called Ihechi Owa, which means a place where the light of God shines, that is the name of the village, not the name of a person. In other words, if you ask somebody now from Arochuku, who gave the name Ihechi Owa to us, nobody knows. Direct from God Almighty himself in heaven. If we can have people who are called by the name of God, then I think it is appropriate once every year that we designate a time and place to give him praise and adoration. And we are going to do that this coming Shabbat, this coming Saturday. We're going to praise God in a very special way. In a very, very special way. And then after that, I will announce the commencement of 40 days of prayer and fasting. I said 40 days of prayer and fasting. And after that, we go and meet our enemies. One thing we must understand is this, that man is not fighting this very battle. This very battle belongs to God Almighty in heaven, and he's going to fight it for us. Because we boast in his name, everything we do in his name. Because when I pray sometimes, I say to God that you are God Almighty. I am a human being, I'm just a flesh. We Biafrans are mere mortals. One day we are going to die, they will bury us. Maybe the next one or 200 years, they'll forget us if we are lost. But you are God and you are eternal. So if Biafra doesn't come, the shame cannot befall a mortal who is an ordinary flesh that will die one day. If God allows those who are called by his name, his own children, to be humiliated by forces of darkness and forces of iniquity, then it's only his name that can be brought into disrepute, not me. Because I'm not going to live forever. One day I'm going to die, isn't it? Isn't it? Everything will come to pass. But our God remains forever and ever. And because we are called by his name, there is no other place in this world, I say it, no other place, no other clan, no entity, no region that is called Umuchineke, only us. And why is that the case? These are the things that the white people know that we don't know about ourselves. That is what, if you ask them why you don't, they say, oh, no, we don't want things to... They know us more than they know we are the chosen children of God. They know. If not, tell me or show me anywhere in the world where people are called. A village is called Umuchuku, the children of God, or the Asawachuku, a child of God. No other place on this earth. So that is why sometimes people say, "Oh, you get upset." I say, "Why won't I be upset? You don't know who you are. You in your house, you have gold, you have diamond, you have everything, and you're outside you're playing with quartz, playing with sand. Are you not foolish?" We are handing, or we have always done so, of course, handing over this very effort, this very struggle into the care of Elohim to lead his army. I am flesh. I will do what I have to do but Elohim will lead his own army. He will provide for us. Those who doesn't want to support what we are doing, did we get to where we are today with their support? How we got to where we are today is a miracle. It is when the history of IPOB is written, the world will know it is a miracle because they ask all these fulefus, and truthfully, they are not part of what we are doing. They have not given us any money. There is no support, nothing. But look at where we are today. By the grace of the Almighty in heaven, on Saturday there is going to be songs of praise. We are going to worship God because something happens in heaven when praise. They say, don't bring religion into what you're doing. And I say to you, is your name Wachubu? Are you a child of God? You're answering Smith. You're answering Harrison. You answer all this. My own, I am watching. God said I am his child. You don't want me to praise my father. Am I going to praise you? We are not bringing religion into what we are doing. We are bringing reality into it. And that reality is that we belong to God Almighty in heaven. That is why we answer Umuchuku. That is why we answer Wachuku. That is why we answer Chinya. We answer Chinedu. We answer Olisa. Even in the name of God himself, we answer. And that is why Biafra will come in our time. Because we are not only unstoppable, because our Father in heaven is watching over us. All the lies of the zoo. I don't know who listened. I don't know who read Tinubu's thoughts and opinions about what is happening in the zoo, of which he is a part of. The thing about black people is that they are not ideologically consistent. This Tinubu, I remember very many years ago, was a proponent of what they call Sovereign National Conference. Go and ask him. SNC, Sovereign National Conference, for all the people to get together to decide a better future for themselves in the zoo called Nigeria. Over time, he got into political office and started to eat money, to grow large on money. Typical black people, very insatiable in the accumulation of wealth. He now turned 360 degrees. This man was the man that said, over his dead body, will the 1999 Constitution of Abdul Salami Abubakar stand. That was what he said. But today, he has become a proponent of a unitary and restructured Nigeria. He said, and this is the argument they make all over the world, and I want our people to pay very close attention to what I have to say now. Anywhere you go to, and you defeat them in a debate about the necessity or the need to have Biafra, the next thing they will tell you is that the West African sub-region will collapse. And they say this is what Britain, even now as I'm here in the US, that's what Britain is telling them in Capitol Hill. That's what they're telling them at the UN. That if you allow Biafra to go, it will set off a chain reaction that will end up destabilizing the whole of West Africa. And Britain now tells the world, do you have the soldiers to go and make peace, I mean the peacekeepers, to go and make peace in the whole of West Africa? A place of nearly 300 million people. Blackmail. The world will say, no, we don't know. So if you go to State Department and ask them, what are you doing about what is happening in the zoo called Nigeria? They'll tell you, oh, man, no, we don't want any wider destabilization of the zoo. That was what Tinubu said just a few days ago. Those listening will know that I have been saying this from time. That is the way they behave. That is the way they act. They go and sit down, they concoct one lie. And because they have more money than us, because they have been able to hire all these media houses all over the world, that is why each time they go back to the same thing. And you know, in fact, with what is happening with Corona and all the rest of it, you can now see that sometimes the media can manipulate you to think in a particular way. That's what they have done all over the world. Once Biafra comes, West Africa will collapse. Once West Africa collapses, you have nothing again. You have nothing. That's what I've been telling. That's what Tinubu was saying. That is what Obasanjo always says. Do you see their ploy and their trick? And I'm asking them today, is Nigeria bigger than the old Soviet Union? I'm asking, is Nigeria bigger than the old Soviet Union? Soviet Union is the size of West Africa, North Africa, East Africa put together. In fact, is half of the whole of Africa, if not more. Now tell me, did the Soviet Union not collapse? And they had nuclear weapons. Mind you, they had nuclear weapons. That is why I keep telling people there is a hint of racism in how they think about we Africans. In Soviet Union, they had nuclear weapons scattered all over unstable former USSR. But USSR broke even without securing any single agreement as to the safety of all those nuclear warheads. Nobody complained. Yugoslavia broke up. Nobody complained. When it comes to Africa, when it comes to the zoo called Nigeria, they begin to trot out all manner of narratives as to why it should not happen. And that's what Tinubu is doing. There's some people read it and they didn't quite understand, or they were not able to read between the lines. But we know. That is the blackmail they're using to hold the world hostage. That is what they're discussing at the UN. Nnamdi Kanu wants to the United Nations to commit over the resources they don't have into West Africa. They are seeing our agitation as having the effect of destabilizing the of West Africa. Is that possible? No. Is that possible? How is conducting a referendum going to destabilize West Africa? I'm asking Tinubu and the rest, how is conducting a referendum going to destabilize the whole of West Africa? Who are the ones destabilizing West? Is it not Fulani headsmen? Is it not Fulani terrorists destabilizing West Africa? They don't say, oh, it's a West African problem. That's what they said 2 days ago. It's a West African problem. Yes, go and read it. That a Fulani headsmen killing people is a West African problem. They want to take over everywhere with the support of Britain. United Kingdom is supporting evil in Africa, supporting evil in Nigeria. And that is why if they don't take them, evil will visit them. They don't know what they are suffering from. They think it is that same spirit of those that they killed during the war that is bothering them. That is why the zoo cannot move forward. You are in a country where blocking highways, abducting and demanding ransom. You didn't bomb them. I sometimes, you know, when I think about it, I'm thinking maybe it's me. Maybe I'm mad or something. I don't know. You didn't bomb those who are killing and raping people with AK-47. You come to a village where people are farming and you start bombing them. And the person that invited them to come is from that village. Oh dear me. That is why we do what we do, and we say what we say. If you go to the headlines, you will see it. I think I posted it. One thing people don't understand is that this Biafra that we are pursuing is for the benefit of everybody. You zoo people, Nigerians, ganged up against Biafra between 67 and 70. And today the Fulanis have ganged up against you. All of you joined hands together to commit the greatest abomination of second greatest abomination of modern time after the Jewish Holocaust in Europe. Today, the same monsters are eating all of you up. That even those who participate, like it was Tiwa Dajima that killed Ironsi. And it was Ironsi that promoted him in the army. He was the one that killed Ironsi. Today, he's the one asking you to go and defend yourselves. Today, he is crying. Today, he is suffering. Today, he's in pain. That tells you all you need to know about Biafra. And our people must understand this. We have defeated the Efulefus and the intellectuals anyway. They have no legs to stand on. Underwood, they tried as much as they can to force us to toe their path and all become slaves to the Janjaweed. And it did not work. Now it is not going to work. Look at Ojus Okale telling them that everybody should go and join APC. Some Ojus Okale that told me privately one-on-one that PDP will be in power forever and ever. when I asked him why he supported Obasanjo instead of his own brother, Kwame, when it came to a private conversation I had with him. Now it is now to tell you that these people, they have the demon of harlotry in them. From one party to the other, from one to the other, and there is no improvement. And every day, people say that these are their leaders. Some idiots follow them. Of course, not many, very many. And I say, where have the senses gone to? It is a very good thing that at last, our people have seen that after all these years of graft and hard work, we have now arrived at a situation where we have a defense force, a defense mechanism. You know, before they will come and ship and they will go. But now when they are coming, they are wondering, where is ESN? Are we going to go back home alive? At least that is something. They can no longer come and kill at will. We know that is something. And some of them are begging behind the back. Some people sent me a message that begging from the back, let's try and solve this problem. They are begging. People are actually never expected to beg. They are begging and calling for truce. And I'm telling them that they're wasting their time, because Biafra is destined to come. If they want us to take it by force, we'll take it by force. Because as you all know, scholars of the Holy Book, that the kingdom suffered violence. Is that not correct? And the violent take it by force. That's what the Bible says. And I stand on that. As I told you, we have come barely close to this very brief emergency broadcast, please. Next week, Saturday, we're going to praise Elohim in a very special way, in a very, very special way. And if they have sent you to Biafra land to come and look for ESN, make sure you left enough money for school fees and feeding for your children, because in every probability, you will not go back. If you are one of those supporting Hope Uzodinma or Haneze Ndiaye and Ndioshi, you are also an enemy of the people. You can issue your useless press statements from wherever you are that nobody can see you. Any day we lay eyes on you, you are toast. I'm saying it out in the open that the world may hear. When you kill us, you don't talk about it. When I talk about what we are going to do to those who are killing us, all of you start jumping up and down like a wounded lizard. That is not going to happen, not under our watch. If you come after us, at least we are not cowardly. We tell you what we're going to do before we do it. If you come after us, we are also going to go after you. So at the end of the day, we all end up in the same court answering the same charges. That's what I want, if you don't know. And on that note, we have drawn this very program this day to a very fitting conclusion, because I have a meeting to attend right now. And as always, and on behalf, I would have loved Father Demagwa and also our women leader to try and say something, because of the time. We don't have time. We'll have to leave that when I come back to the US in the summer, because I'll also pass through this very place. And then I will not expect to come to the US and raise a very paltry $500,000. It doesn't make any sense to me. We need to be raising somewhere in the region of $50 to $100 million to be able to match our enemies. You people in America, you are the ones who are going to fund this very fight. That was why you came here in the first place. That was why you went for visa and they gave it to you, not to come here to look after your family and to live in large houses and big mansions. It is for you to save your nation. And that is what we are going to do. All of you are Joseph in a way, mini Joseph, coming to prepare for the coming of that kingdom of heaven upon the face of the earth. I thank you all very much for listening. And as always, and without hesitation, Biafra is our religion. It is our way of life. It is our tradition. Everything about us is Biafra. Everything about us is freedom. That is the reason why in Biafra land you have autonomous communities, because we love freedom. Here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim Chukwokika Biama is our God. From me, from here, on behalf of those that have come to see me and great Biafrans all over this very world, good afternoon.